I'm Karen Harrison with the Minnesota Department of Natural Resources School Forest Program. Today we're going to look deep into our soil by doing a soil dissection and a shake test. To get started, you'll want to gather some supplies. You'll need something to dig with, some plain pieces of paper, a pencil. I'm going to use a measuring cup, but you can also estimate today if you don't have one, some water, and a container that you can see through with a lid. Soil is the foundation for living things on Earth. It's composed of minerals, living and non-living organisms, water, and air. Let's get started by doing our dissection of soil. I'm going to go ahead and take a sample over here by my fence. Why don't you take a look around, see where you might be able to take a sample of soil. Make sure you get permission before you start. I want to make sure that when I'm getting some soil, I'm going to fill about half cup worth of soil, and I want to make sure I don't just get the surface layer, I'm going to go deep into the soil. There we go. Now on one of your pieces of paper, we're going to divide it. If you take a look at this one, you'll see I drew a line right down the middle of the page, and then on one of those sides, I drew right through the half mark, and then a halfway mark through the top part. I labeled these sections dirt, other, animals, and plants. This way, when I'm doing my dissection, I can go ahead and move the different parts that I'm finding within my soil into the right category. So I'm going to go ahead and dump my half cup right into the middle of my piece of paper. You can use toothpicks, you can use a sharp pencil, you could even use a stick to go ahead and start looking through your soil and seeing what you can find. Here's my final product. I have quite a lot of dirt in the dirt pile, of course, but I also had a lot of plant material. I had little pieces that looked like kind of dead, dying grass, lots of little roots, some long pieces of roots. I found a little tree bud and a couple pieces that looked like little pieces of bark. In my animal section, I actually found some kind of larvae and a small worm. In my other pile, I have 2 rocks and a piece of broken plastic. Next, we're going to do our shaker test. So we'll take off the lid, and we're going to put our soil into the container. If you have a container that has a pretty small opening, you can create a funnel with just a piece of paper. Just twist it around to make a cone shape. Place it inside. Dump your soil in the paper and shake it out. Then we'll add 2 cups of water. Put the lid on tightly. And just like the name suggests, we're going to shake it up. Now we just need to wait. In the meantime, anytime we handle soil, we want to make sure we wash our hands really well with soap and water afterwards. So that's what I'm going to go do now. You want to let your container sit for at least 24 hours until the water is pretty clear. After that, you can start to see the layers. The heaviest layer will fall to the bottom. I didn't have a lot of rocks or gravel in my soil. If you do, that will be the bottommost layer. Otherwise, the next layer up, which I have quite a lot of, is sand. And then I have a smaller layer of silt. And the very top, I have a thin layer of clay. In the water, you'll notice some of that organic material. So I have some things kind of floating and suspending in the water and also floating along the top as well.